Good morning, dear students. Today we will start with chapter number 1 of General Science, that is the living world, adaptations and classification. Children, in the previous standard, we have studied diversities in living things such as animals and plants. So let's recall it. In what different ways is the diversity in living things seen? The diversity in living things is seen due to their different shapes, size, colors, and different structure of the body. So, here, children, we are going to consider the shape of the plant, size of the plant, then color of flower, okay, or color of leaves, then different structure of their body, means in case of animals. In the previous standard, we have seen diversities in plants. In that, we saw diversity in flowering and non-flowering plants. Okay, means the plants, those who are giving flowers, that is called flowering plants. And the plants, those who are not giving flowers, that is called non-flowering plants. In flowering plants, we have seen examples sunflower, mango, neem. And in non-flowering plants, we have seen examples algae, moss, and fern. In the diversity of plants, we have seen children. Some plants grow in water, some plants grow in desert, whereas some grows in the snowy region. Snowy region means where there is falling of snow. Then we have seen children diversity in case of microscopic plants and huge plants. Means some plants are huge and some are small. Then after looking diversity in plants, we have seen children diversity in animals. Means unicellular and multicellular organisms. Unicellular organism means the organism which are made up of single cell or only one cell, that is called as unicellular organism. In that we have seen children examples, that is amoeba and paramecium. Then multicellular organism means the organism which have more than one cell, or the organism which are made up of many cells, that is called as multicellular organism. For example, elephant and human beings. Now, some animals have vertebral column or backbone, that is called as vertebrate animals. And some animals do not have backbone or vertebral column, that is called as invertebrates. So, according to this, we classify the animals. Children, according to living habitat of animals, we saw types of animals, that is aquatic, terrestrial, amphibian, reptilian, and aerial animals. So, the animals living in water are called as aquatic animals. The animals living on land and which have legs to move around are called as terrestrial animals. The animals living on land as well as in water are called as amphibians, whereas the animals such as snake, lizard has cold blood which lay eggs and that has a body covered with skulls are called as reptiles. Then after these children, we have seen aerial animals which live mostly in the air. For example, birds. Now, next topic is children. Can you tell? After looking this information about plants and animals, you have to give answer of this question, children. Are the plants and animals from Kashmir and Rajasthan of the same type? Can you elaborate on any differences between the two? Kashmir and Rajasthan are geographically different regions. Okay, the climatic conditions are different in these two places. Okay, so therefore, all types of plants, that is called as flora, and fauna, that is all types of animals in both Kashmir and Rajasthan, are also different. So there are some differences in plants and animals in case of Kashmir and Rajasthan. Animals in Kashmir are with thick fur. So due to presence of fur on their body, that body is convenient for that cold climate. Now Rajasthan is being desert and animals like camel are seen there because camel has the capacity to store water. And we know children, in case of desert there is shortage of water. In snowy region, for example in Kashmir, there are coniferous trees, that is cone shaped trees like pine and deodar. In desert, for example Rajasthan, plants like cactus and acacia, that is babul, are seen. The camel is a desert animal which cannot live in cold region of Kashmir because camel has adapted himself, means he has adjusted himself in desert region, but he cannot live in cold region because there is no adaptation in cold region in case of camel. Let us see what is meant by adaptation. The gradual changes occur in the body parts and also in the behavior of organisms which help them to adjust their surroundings. Such a change is called as adaptation. Now let us see children adaptation in plants. Observe and complete the chart. So here plants are given. With the help of that we have to write their habitat, type of root, characteristics of leaves and characteristics of stem. First example they already solved. Let us see that example. Lotus. Plant is given lotus. So its habitat is aquatic, means living in water. Type of root, that which has fibrous root. Characteristics of leaves. So lotus has large and round with waxy layer. Means lotus leaves are large, they are round and they are having waxy layer. Characteristics of stem. So lotus has hollow and flexible stem. Hollow means from where air can easily pass, and flexible means which can bend easily. Now second plant is cactus. Habitat is desert. Type of root is deeply penetrating. So for searching of water, the roots of cactus are growing in the soil. So deeply penetrating. Characteristics of leaves. So cactus has no leaves. So cannot see leaves. Characteristics of stem. So cactus stem is thick and fleshy, and that is green in color. Okay. So which has thick and fleshy, that is green stem. The banyan. So habitat is land. We can see banyan tree is on land. Type of root means it is some in soil and some aerial. Means some leaves, sorry, some roots of the banyan tree are in the soil and some are in the air. So it is aerial. Characteristics of leaves. So banyan tree has big and green leaves. Okay. Characteristics of stem. So banyan trees stem is very hard and which is very tall. I hope it is clear to you children. Now in adaptation of plants, we are going to see first adaptation, that is in aquatic plants. Okay. So aquatic plant roots are deeply fixed in the soil. Some plants entirely float with floating roots while some submerged in the water. So some roots are entirely floating on the water and some roots are submerged in the water, means they are inside the water. The stem of aquatic plants are soft and its petioles are also soft and flexible. Leaves and flowers float on water. So leaves of these aquatic plants float on water. Some plants have thin ribbon shaped slender leaves. This is an adaptation to stand in fast current of water. So these aquatic plants stem and petioles are very soft and flexible, and all these leaves and flowers of these aquatic plants float on water. So due to this, these aquatic plants can stand in more current of water or more flow of water. These leaves and stems are coated with waxy layer and has air spaces inside the stem and leaves. So, in case of aquatic plants children, they are having waxy layer and this stem is filled with air. Due to this adaptation, aquatic plants, that is leaves of aquatic plants, float on water because these aquatic plants have waxy layer on these leaves, and due to that this aquatic plants leaves are floating on water, and these leaves are also having air space, means air is there inside this. Okay, now let us see some characteristics of these aquatic plants. These aquatic plants have floating plants. They are spongy, soft and float on surface of water. For example, lotus and duckweed. Duckweed means that green color plants are there children, that is having small leaves and that is on the surface of water, especially in case of river, that is called as a duckweed. So duckweed is also the example of aquatic plants. Let us see children adaptation in desert plants. These desert plants are leafless. Our leaves are like small needles. Some leaves seem to be modified into thorns for storing of water. Due to this, very little water is lost by evaporation. The stems are fleshy as water and food is stored in them. These modified stems perform photosynthesis and hence are green. Thorns like leaves do not perform photosynthesis. So these leaves are not there to desert plants because that is a cactus. But stem is fleshy due to there is a presence of water and food. Okay. These modified stems perform photosynthesis and hence are green. So with the help of this stem only there is a production of food, that is process of photosynthesis. Thorns like leaves do not perform photosynthesis. Only the stem is performing photosynthesis. These thorns of these plants are not performing photosynthesis process. Deeply penetrating roots that surge the water and thick layer of waxy substance on stem. So the roots of this cactus plant or roots of these desert plants are deeply penetrated in the soil. Now, with the help of this, we can solve this use your brain power question, children. Why does water trickle off lotus leaves? So, lotus is an aquatic plant that we know, children. So, there is a coating of waxy layer on its stem as well as on leaves. So, when water falls on the leaves, it is not absorbed by these leaves also and stem also, and due to that it gets flow down or fall down. Okay. Now second question children, why don't the leaves of these plants rot in water? So the leaves of aquatic plants have wax coating on them and there is no presence of stomata on these leaves. Stomata means small pores are there to leaves. So there is no presence of stomata. So due to that, water cannot enter the leaves or leaves are not absorbing water, and therefore the leaves of these aquatic plants do not rot in water. Now, third question, children. Why are their roots short and fibrous? The main function of this aquatic plant's roots is to hold the plant firmly and to absorb water and minerals for the plant. Both of these functions are not needed for the plant like lotus, which floats on water, and therefore their roots are short and fibrous. I hope, children, it is clear to you. Thank you, children, for watching the video and for your attention.